Hey guys, so today I want to do a review of another sling. This is the Magpul MS4 sling. Magpul puts out a great series of slings. They so far have come out with the MS2, which was not so great. They came out with the MS3, the MS3 QD version, and now the MS4. This sling is relatively new to the market. It came out earlier this year, and it's something that I've been dying to get my hands on. These are almost always sold out, so if you do find one and you're interested in picking one up, I'd highly recommend doing it. They are kind of hard to find. I personally have been waiting to pick one up myself for a long time. I was able to find one for sale, or actually in stock, I guess I should say, on Brownell's website, and I was very glad I was able to pick it up. You can see here I have it in the Coyote coloration. I have the MS3 QD version in black, and I really like the Coyote. I personally live in a desert environment, so I'm kind of biased towards flat dark earth or Coyote brown, and I think it looks great. The Magpul MS4 sling comes in two different colorations. It comes in the Coyote, like you see here, as well as the standard black. Again, I said this in my MS3 sling review. I'm not sure why Magpul doesn't come out with other color variations. I think it'd be cool if they came out with an OD or a foliage green ballistic nylon, and I think it'll match their furniture a lot better than just standard black or anything like that. So again, I'm not sure why they do that. I wonder if it has to do with them not being able to get the color of the ballistic nylon just right, or what, but I definitely think it'd be a cool thing for them to come out with. For those guys that aren't familiar with the Magpul MS4, it is a dedicated QD only sling, and it's something that I really like. It's perfect for my current setup. I run QD sockets on my AR-15, those sockets being the Noveske QD end plates at the rear of my AR-15 receiver, and I also run a Wilson Combat 10 and 2 rail sling attachment point. And this works out perfectly. I can attach the main QD sling swivel here into the end of my lower receiver via the Noveske QD end plate, and then run as a single point sling. And if I want, I can turn it into a 2-point sling simply by disconnecting it here and attaching this to a rail sling mount like my Wilson Combat 10 and 2 mount. I personally feel that this is the MS sling that the MS sling series should have been a long time ago. I personally think that going solely QD is a much simpler idea than running paraclips. The paraclips that they use on their slings in the past, like the MS3 and the MS3 QD, they're very proprietary. It's kind of an awkward mounting system. I mean, if you buy a sling that has a paraclip on it, now you have to buy a mount that is specifically geared towards the paraclip, and Magpul seems to be the only company that really makes those. I'm not saying that their sling attachment points are junk. I'm just saying that it's a lot easier to run QD sling swivels on your rifles than it is a paraclip. I mean, QD sling sockets have been around for a long time. Manufacturers even manufacture them into their rails, into their firearms, into their stocks. It's just, to me, I'm not sure why Magpul didn't come out with this sling a long time ago. It just seems a much better design. Speaking of design, I might as well talk about the MS4's overall design, because there are a few changes that are a lot different than the MS3 version. The biggest one being the fact that the paraclip is gone, which is a huge thing. I'm very glad to see that they've replaced it with a heavy-duty QD sling socket. Both the QD sling sockets are heavy-duty, so they're very thick. You can see the metal used there. So they're very robust, very strong, and the second biggest thing that they've changed is they've actually changed the D-ring here. For lack of better nomenclature, I just call it a D-ring. And it's on the MS4 sling, it's actually made out of metal. In the past, in the MS3 and the MS3 QD version, they've all been made out of polymer. This attachment point is made out of metal. My guess is because when using a QD sling socket or sling swivel, it could actually weaken it if it's made out of polymer, especially this part here where they put the anti-rotation cutouts in there so that way it doesn't rotate on you. And I think it's just a huge upgrade. Speaking of the D-ring here, like I was talking about earlier, you can see that it does have anti-rotation cutouts into the actual D-ring there. What that does is allows the actual balls on the heavy-duty QD sling socket to actually attach in there, and it prevents them from rotating and moving, which is great because you don't want your sling to get all twisted up on you, and it becomes uncomfortable and awkward, and it just makes your shooting suffer. So it's definitely a good thing. You can insert it two different ways. You can insert it so it's flat with the D-ring, that being the heavy-duty QD socket, or sling swivel, or you can put it in so it's at a perpendicular angle there. But it's definitely a huge upgrade in my opinion. You can see that you have, it's fully ambidextrous. You can attach it on the left-hand side if you're a right-hand shooter, or if you're a left-handed shooter, you can easily attach it on the right-hand side there to sling your offhand in. And it's just a cool setup. So moving on to the rest of the construction, it's made out of 1.25" ballistic nylon, high-grade ballistic nylon. It's not cheap whatsoever. This is the heavy-duty nylon. It doesn't fray easily. It doesn't snag, and it'll last you a really, really long time. It is a little rough, so it will cause a little bit of skin chafage, especially on your neck and your collarbone region. So just be careful of that. Just make sure that you adjust your shirt on long shooting sessions to make sure that it doesn't rub up against your neck and give you that chafage that I was talking about. Going back with the construction, you can see it has the two standard buckles. It has the adjustment tri-glide buckle here that takes out the slack, so that way you don't have extra nylon webbing kind of flopping around on you. And it also has this tri-glide buckle here that you use to adjust the sling. For those guys that aren't familiar with how the sling works, what you do is you pull on this heavy duty loop here, and if you pull towards the rifle or towards the D-ring, what it does is it makes the sling longer, which is great for getting in and out of it. And when you want to tighten it up once you got it on, all you do is just pull this away from the rifle or away from the D-ring, and it cinches the sling right back up. You can notice mine's a little tough to slide. My MS3 is a little bit easier. When I first got it, it was really, really tough, but it's kind of breaking in. So I think once I use it more and more and more, it'll break in even more. But it's kind of a pain in the butt that it is a little tight. But that could just be my particular sling that I ordered. The stitching on it is perfect. You can see it has heavy duty stitching all around here. You can see the box stitching. There's triple stitch there, there's single stitch there. I mean, just everywhere on here, it's just real nice stitching. You see the loop is very stiff. It's not floppy whatsoever. So it gives you a great handle to grab onto and adjust the sling very easily. And it's just another great Magpul product. So if there's anything I forgot in this review, feel free to leave a comment or question down below, and I'll make sure to answer them as soon as I can. If you guys are interested in upcoming videos that I have planned, make sure to click on my channel page, go to the About Vital Gear section. There should be a list of 4 upcoming videos, so that way you can stay up to date on up and coming videos. And again, guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, see ya.